The Seahawks just put the 49ers and the whole league on notice. Yo, that was a fun day of watching football. I was a fan just like you, hanging out at home, watching two teams that weren't the 49ers. And the first game was one of the worst games I've ever freaking seen. 10-7 Patriots. They're going to lose in the Super Bowl to Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. That game against the Rams was one of the best games I've ever seen. So let's just start with the 49ers angle. As a 49er fan, or as a 49ers player or coach or owner, how do you watch this game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams and think that the Niners are remotely close to either team? Those two teams are two of the best teams in the league. The Seattle Seahawks are the best team in the league, and it's not particularly close. I don't know how many calls the league's going to have to give the New England Patriots for that game to be close, but it's like there's a huge gap. The only reason this game was close is because of that taunting call, which may have been correct by the letter of the law, but like you're telling me a guy says something in an NFC championship game and it's a 15-yard penalty that extends a drive. He didn't spit. He didn't slash the throat. He didn't fire a, make-believe gun. He didn't, do 3 pelvic thrusts. He said something or whatever. So that's the reason the game was close. They're significantly better than the Rams, who were significantly better than the 49ers. The Niners are closer to the Cardinals than they are to either of these teams. It seems like this Seahawks team is very young, and as they get more experience facing opponents, they get better. They lost to the Rams, then they beat the Rams by 1, and now they beat the Rams by 4, but it really could have been like 11. They lost to the Niners, and they beat the Niners by 10, and they beat the Niners by 1,000,000. So, wow. This team's really freaking – both of these teams are really good. And what's interesting about them is like, what do the Rams have that the Niners don't have? Let's start there. What do the Rams and Seahawks have that the Niners don't have? They have good offensive lines, both teams. They have better running backs than the 49ers, be honest. The Niners have a good gadget player who lines up at running back, but he's averaging 3.9 yards per carry for the last 2 years. Both teams have great wide receivers. The 49ers have Ricky Pearsall. I mean, that alone. Oh, and then they have quarterbacks who are big and can see the field and have rocket arms, both of them. The Niners have a small quarterback who doesn't see the field that well, who isn't great past his first read, but is very athletic. They don't have a good offensive line. They don't have speed at wide. They don't have a wide receiver, and they don't have speed at running back. They're not powerful or fast. I mean, the Rams were getting whatever they wanted on. They were getting big plays to Colby Parkinson, where the Niners are trying to figure out how to get 1 yard against the Seahawks, how to score 1 touchdown against the Seahawks. So this had to be a very sobering experience for a Niner fan. If you would watch this game and the Seahawks had just blown out the Rams, you'd say, all right, well, Niners and the Rams aren't that much different. But the Rams hung in there. The Rams were able to lead drives. They were able to score touchdowns, multiple touchdowns. They scored more points in this game against the Seahawks than the Niners scored in 3 games against the Seahawks. If the Niners played in the AFC, they'd be in good position for the next few years. But unfortunately, they play in the same division as the Rams and the Seahawks, and it doesn't seem like – I mean, how are the Niners going to get past Seattle? How are they going to – forget Seattle. How are the Niners going to catch the Rams while Matthew Stafford is on the team? You got me all day, every day. Kim says, our fans laughed at Sam in Seattle at the beginning of the season. Joke's on y'all. I'm an 80s SF fan. I grew up in this. Also, Seattle looks smart. 30 million Sam. True. Adam K NYC says, honestly, I've never seen Brock play at the level Sam Darnold played at tonight. Agree. Abu Marco 23 says, March 2021, Rams deal 2 firsts and a third. And Goff for Stafford. April 2021, Niners deal 3 firsts and a third for Lance. The rest is history. Also, when the Niners let Darnold go, isn't it fascinating how much Sam Darnold has improved since he was with the Niners? When he was with the Niners in training camp, I thought nothing of him. I thought he was merely trying to survive, and every day he was just checking the ball down. But I got to give him credit. There was a whole process for him there. And what happened was Tom Brady did a great job explaining it during the broadcast. It's so interesting watching a game on TV. I never do this because I was at the stadium. Brady was like, look, Darnold, when he got drafted by the Jets, they taught him the Peyton Manning offense, which has always been unsuccessful unless Peyton Manning ran it. So then he went to the Panthers and learned Matt Rule's college offense. So by the time he got to the Niners, he had never actually been exposed to an NFL offensive scheme. So that year, he wasn't even trying to compete for a starting job. His whole plan was to back up Purdy so he could learn a system and eventually be an NFL quarterback. And it's worked very well. What I think is interesting is that Purdy told Brady, apparently, unless Brady's tripping, that he credits Darnold for a lot of Purdy's development. Purdy taught Darnold the system. Kyle taught Darnold the system. He'd never been exposed to a high-level NFL system before. But I think what Purdy's saying is that Darnold taught him a lot about being an NFL quarterback, how to play the position, how to make throws. I mean, Darnold is frankly a lot more gifted physically than Purdy. Plus, he's older than Purdy. So I thought that was interesting to hear that Purdy actually felt he got a lot better from being around Darnold. I think he's gotten a lot better from being around Mac Jones as well. That's interesting. Okay, Darnold has this, year with the Niners where he's learning. He played a little bit with the Niners. He never was particularly impressive. He played at the end of that Ravens game, didn't play well. He played week 18 with and against backups against the Rams, didn't play well, lost to Carson Wentz. But then he goes to the Vikings, plays well, is noticeably better than he was with the Niners, but he can't keep it going. He falls apart at the end of the season, gets sacked a bunch of times, loses to the Rams in the playoffs, scores 9 points. So bad in that game in the week before that they get rid of him, scapegoat him. He goes to the Seahawks on a discount. And now the Vikings are trying to figure it out, trying to find a quarterback, trying to get back in the playoffs. They made a big mistake. And now Seahawks are, Darnold's even better than he was last year with Minnesota. Like, what's interesting about Darnold, he's not turning the ball over a lot. Like, that was his thing. He's a disaster waiting to happen. It seems like he's fixed that part of his game. He still takes sacks, but he didn't fumble. And 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. That's big time. That's a better performance than Purdy's ever had in the playoffs, except for the wild card round against the bad version of the Seahawks a few years ago. So now, I feel like Darnold he's reached his potential. Everything people thought he would be when he was the 3rd pick in the draft, he's showing. He is pretty mobile. He is good rolling left and right. He can make throws on the run. But beyond that, he's good from the pocket in the sense that if he has time and space, which he does with this offensive line, he can go through his progressions. He can start on the left side of the field, go to the middle, and get to the right. I think we saw him do that a lot. He had some of his best throws in this game were full field reads, where he starts on one side and gets to the other quickly. And I'm thinking, man, I haven't seen Purdy do that in a while. It seems like Purdy has the one read in the pocket, and if it's not there, he's been getting out of the pocket the last couple of years, trying to get better sight lines and throwing lanes, considering he's my height. So, early on in the game, Darnold makes that big statement. Was it the first drive? Hold on. I wrote down the whole game because I'm crazy like that. Yeah, 3rd play of the game, 3rd and 5. He goes deep to Rashid Shaheed. I tweeted the Niners should have traded for Rashid Shaheed, but no, he's a good fit for Darnold, not for Purdy, and he's a good fit for that offense, not for the Niners offense. Rashid Shaheed is a deep threat on the outside, running fades. The Niners don't call fades. When was the last time Kyle Shanahan called a fade for a wide receiver? Maybe he called 1 or 2 for Brandon Ayuk in his entire career. 1 or 2. One against Tampa. Not a lot. So it's not in the playbook. Brock Purdy doesn't really make that throw. It's not something he does well. He doesn't have much trajectory on the deep throw up the sideline. And the Niners don't have so if they had Rashid Shaheed, what would he be doing on the Niners? Returning punts, running shallow crosses, end arounds, jet sweeps, stuff like that. Doing nothing. Probably not even playing because he doesn't know the system as well as Demarcus Robinson, Kendrick Bourne. But it's nice to have a quarterback like Darnold who can threaten the whole defense. And I think you saw, I mean, in this championship round, Drake May, Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold, big quarterbacks with big arms who see the field and threaten every blade of grass. And that's not what Brock Purdy is. He's been to the Super Bowl. Didn't win it, though. And it's looking like Sam Darnold is going to win it on Brock Purdy's field. Are the Seahawks going to be in the Niners locker room? Man, what a story. Who's going to play Sam Darnold in the Hollywood movie? Is it going to be the dude who played Ron Weasley in Harry Potter? I think it should be. I think Sam Darnold should have a British accent and he should be 5'6". But as long as the actor has red hair, I think it'd be believable. The idea that the ultimate Cinderella story is Darnold and not Brock. I mean, we've been so focused on what a great story Brock is, but the better story was the guy holding the clipboard quietly behind Brock while Brock was running in circles and doing back handsprings. I'm just saying. It's an incredible story. And we thought that he was the reason that the Seahawks weren't going to go places, that he was the weakest link on that team. Well, they don't really have a weak link, I guess. And they're going to have another good draft coming up. And Kyle Shanahan doesn't know what to do against this defense. And Brock Purdy can't see anything, and the Niners can't block their defensive line. Other than that, I feel like this game was very encouraging for the Niners' future. So why does Brock Purdy struggle against Seattle? Like, yeah, Darnold was great, but so was freaking Matthew Stafford. 374 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 127.6 quarterback rating. He was great in this game. How come Brock Purdy can't do that? Is Matthew Stafford just way better than Purdy? Like, yeah, there's that. Let's start there. Matthew Stafford is better than Purdy. But I think it's more. I think it's fair to point out that Stafford had all day to throw today. He got sacked one time. He basically had time and space on the field. And when Brock has that kind of time, he's really good. He never has that kind of time against Seattle, ever. He's under pressure most of the time he drops back against the Seahawks. That's not his fault. I'm not a Brock Purdy apologist. I like criticizing him for things. I like criticizing people who make $53 million a year because I'm petty and jealous. No question. But that was not his fault. And I think it's clear that the Rams and the Seahawks have made a greater emphasis on investing in their offensive line than the 49ers have. And this oversight on Kyle Shanahan's part going on 10 years is a big reason the Niners can't compete against Seattle, because every time their 6-foot quarterback drops back, he's got 8 people in his lap. So if the Niners are going to keep Kyle and keep Brock and expect to do any better against Seattle next year, they're going to have to add a lot of offensive linemen. Not just a left guard, but they are going to have to add a left guard who's really good, better than Burford, maybe the first-round pick. But then Brendel's not good enough. I don't even know if Pooney's good enough. McKivitz is borderline. But I think it's pretty clear that the Niners' offensive line isn't nearly good enough for this challenge they got against Seattle. Because all Seattle does against the Niners is rush 4 and play soft zone coverage with 2 deep safeties. Basically, they'll play cover 4, that umbrella coverage. And they're saying, we don't respect your offensive line, and we don't respect your wide receivers. There is no reason to play man-to-man. We're just not going to give up any big plays, and we're going to force you to check it down, and you can't break any tackles because Christian McCaffrey's old, and that's what they do. So if Brock's going to ever have success against his defense, Kyle's going to have to give him a bunch of new players. I mean, you saw Seattle was freaked out by Puka Nacua. Like, they were playing man-to-man coverage the whole game because they're like, there's no way we're letting Puka Nacua catch a bunch of easy passes and get upfield. They don't feel that way about the Niners. They're like, man, if we just take away the big explosive play from Kyle Shanahan, he will be impatient and there's nothing more he can do. So it's not all Brock. Although if he could grow 3 inches and get a stronger arm, it would help. I'm just saying. He makes a lot of money. Maybe he could figure it out. Didn't this game really highlight how much better Sean McVay is than Kyle Shanahan? I mean, Kyle Shanahan is clever, but it feels like Sean McVay is innovative. Here's what I mean. Kyle Shanahan takes his dad's offensive system, you know, the tailback, the fullback, the 21 personnel, that general structure. Kyle is so wedded to it. He really won't adjust it much. His creativity comes from the plays that he devises within that structure. The motions and the play action concepts, and it's all within that. There's not much more that he's doing. And I think that's why he can't do anything against Seattle. Seattle has built a defense to beat that. I mean, they're not that much smaller than the Niners offense. Their nickel defense is about the same size as the Niners base offense because the Niners offense is small and slow and old. So there's no play that Kyle Shanahan can call that's going to, I mean, that's why he's calling double reverse and flea flicker because there's nothing, and speed option because there's nothing. He can't win in the trenches. He can't win on the outside. His quarterback can't see, he can't, really threaten the entire field. There's nothing there. He doesn't have the answers. The answers aren't in his playbook. The answers are in the personnel. He has to pivot and change who he has on the field. He's got to get the fullback off the field. He's got to actually get some young, fast players on the field. I don't know if Jordan Watkins is actually good enough, but give him a shot because I know who isn't. And his name is DeMarcus. His name is Kendrick. His name is Juwan. Sean McVay is scoring points against Seattle, not because he has some like super secret concept in his playbook. It's because he figured out, okay, so they're playing nickel all the time. They're trying to get away with that. They're kind of a small defense, but they hit hard and run fast. So the only way to really punish them for making this decision to be small all the time is to be extra big, go heavy, 3 tight ends. And in addition, Sean McVay actually has taken the offensive line seriously. They invest in it. It's good. And I just don't understand Kyle Shanahan's stubborn it's his dad. It's the same philosophy his dad had in the 80s and 90s. Let's just have a really small, light offensive line. Nah, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. And it's one thing to like skimp on the offensive line if you don't have a quarterback worth protecting, right? It's like, why should we put in all this draft capital and salary cap space into the into like the offensive line just so we can protect Jimmy? Like, what's that going to do? Well, we want to get the ball out of Jimmy's hands as fast as possible anyway. Let's just get him Deebo Samuel and a bunch of playmakers who can turn screens into big plays. But like, and that makes total sense to me. I get that. But now that you have Brock Purdy and he's supposedly elite, forget whether he is or not, but you're spending all this money on him, $53 million a year. I don't understand making the investment if you don't make the corresponding investment into the offensive line. Because like, maybe he is top 5. I don't think so. But maybe he is like, quote unquote, top tier, elite, or close to it. You'll never know. He'll never show that if he's playing behind this, which is, a bottom half of the league offensive line. Average at best. You'll never see it. We'll never know. So if you make the investment, you bring in a really good left guard, maybe a better center, just better players, we'll find out exactly how good Brock can be. And maybe it's good enough to win a Super Bowl. But if Kyle doesn't do that this offseason, if he doesn't improve the offensive line, if it's the same weak, overpowered group next year, and the offense is still old, and he still can't score points against the Seahawks, then what are you keeping him for? How many more years do you want to watch Kyle Shanahan get Brock Purdy beat up? Do you want to watch Kyle Shanahan score field goals against Seattle? I think there's a lot of pressure on Kyle, considering McVay can score touchdowns. And you got to go through this team. And he's putting the answers on freaking film. You got to go to multiple tight ends, not 2, 3. And you got Juszczyk out there. Guess what's not working? That. Why are you sticking with it? Last week on the show, Tom Walsh, great coach, great critic. I asked him, what's the difference between Kyle and McVay? He said, without even blinking, So, oh, Kyle coaches plays, McVay coaches players. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Flattest Cohn says, tough time to be a Niners and SF Giants fan, LOL. Karthik donates $1. Thank you. COD Hype 277 says, belt to ass, let's go. We go into the bowl. Abu Marco 23 says, Darnold is also in such a great situation. Seahawks are built to have and keep leads with that great defense, so Darnold just has to not lose it. Agree. And I think was interesting. I was streaming with the Hawk blogger a couple of weeks ago before the Niners lost to them, and he was saying, we kind of think of Sam Darnold as Jimmy Garoppolo. He's way better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Bigger, stronger arm, more mobile, just way better than Jimmy Garoppolo ever was. That's their quarterback. They're not going to be replacing him. I mean, they got a quarterback, and he's actually a bargain. They're paying him a great price. Sean for the win says, we're about to watch Mike M and Sam win a Super Bowl in our stadium. Mike has been in the division 2 years, and Sam was in the building. Mac will get traded in a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl hit for his next team on cue. Ownership has to see this BS. Have to. Big Tone says, they have elite receiver in common. Just saying, they do. All right. Here's another thing that was sort of underscored to me today. The importance of Mac Jones. The Niners clearly want to trade him. I mean, not for a third or a fourth, but if they could get a second-round pick for Mac Jones, I think he's gone. Fortunately, I don't think they'll get that second-round pick. Although, if I were the Raiders, I'd much rather trade a second-round pick for Mac Jones than spend the top pick in the draft on Fernando Mendoza. But here's the thing. Even if someone trades the Niners a second-round pick, the Niners shouldn't take it for multiple reasons. One, they need Mac Jones. They don't have a good offensive line. Their coach isn't particularly good at protecting quarterbacks. Their quarterback is 6 feet tall. He does have an injury history. Mac Jones is going to need to play. If he wasn't on the team this year, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. And I don't even know if Kyle would still be the head coach. He's out here saving jobs too. They're going to need, and when you watched the Broncos, if they had Mac Jones instead of Jarrett Stidham, they probably win that game. Jarrett Stidham was freaked out the whole time. He had no composure. Mac Jones has a great temperament for a quarterback. He never seems rattled. He's surgical. I love Mac Jones. And he's got to stay on this team. You think of backup quarterback being, what's the word? A luxury. A luxury that a team like the 49ers can't afford. But it seems to me like it's one of the most important. It might be. It's one of the most important positions on the team, unless you definitely have a quarterback who is indestructible, an Iron Man like Brett Favre who never comes off the field. There are guys like that, and a great offensive line to keep them upright. Then yeah, sure. Who cares about your backup quarterback? But if you have a good, not great quarterback who misses time, and you have Mac Jones on your team for $4 million a year, you could trade him. Sure. Let's do a thought experiment. But like live in reality here. You trade him. Someone offers you a second round pick, and you're like, man, this is an offer we can't refuse. So you get a second round pick, and what do you do with it? You use it to reach for a player who would have been available in round 3. I mean, this is a team that drafted Jake Moody in round 3. What is you have a see? I don't feel like the Niners are good enough to be able to take a player who's good, a good starter like Mac, and trade him for the mystery box. Trade him for a draft pick. You suck at drafting, and you know it. You're going to trade a known quantity, at the most important position, who's cheap, for a second round pick that you're going to use on a player who's not going to be good, most likely. Why would you do that? If you were really good at drafting, I would understand it, but you're not, and you know it. If your general manager wasn't John Lynch, I would say go for it, but it is. Also, there is a very bad precedent of Brock Purdy backups going on to Super Bowls. So do you really want to trade Mac Jones to the next team? I mean, you trade Mac Jones to the Arizona Cardinals, all of a sudden, the Niners are the worst team in the division. You put Mac Jones in the same offense with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson. Watch it. And Trey McBride. Oh my God. Oh my God. I wouldn't want to see that. In fact, I do want to see that really bad. Can the Niners stop creating Super Bowl champions? It is the Niners' fault that Seattle is this good. You could have had Sam Darnold, but no. You were like, no, we got to give Brock Purdy $265 million. You take Sam Darnold, Seattle. You give him 3 years, $30 million. We need to give Brock Purdy $250 million. You win the Super Bowl. We want to have a franchise quarterback. You have a Super Bowl trophy. This is more important. So you just set up Seattle. Nice. You could have you tried to set up the Vikings. The Vikings didn't understand what you were doing, how generous you were being. So Seattle takes them, and you know what? I think they're going to thank you when they win the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks on your field. I have a feeling Mike McDonald and Sam Darnold will be gracious enough to say, you know what? None of this would have been possible without the 49ers. First and foremost, they're the real MVPs. Thank you for setting us up to look so good. They were going to be stuck with Geno. Can you imagine if Geno was their quarterback this year? Oh, it would have been great. But no, the Niners were like, guys. We got a great quarterback for you. He's actually better than our quarterback. Don't tell anyone, though, because we're going to give our guy $53 million a year and put him in Toyota commercials all the time. Here's the thing about Sam Darnold, too. He's underrated, man. And I gave him no respect until today. But now that he won the NFC Championship game, I feel like we got to go back and, like, retroactively give him props. He hasn't missed a start in 2 seasons. Brock has. Not only is he good, I'm not saying he's elite, but not only is he a good quarterback in the same tier as Brock Purdy, he might be better. He's more durable, stronger arm, sees the field better, can get through his progressions, isn't a scramble waiting to happen, doesn't have to do a back handspring to extend plays. Am I pissing you off yet? It's not my fault. Blame the Niners. Okay, let's talk about some other stuff. This was interesting. It came out yesterday. The Cabo Clique is back in Cabo. It's always fun to catch up with the Cabo Clique and see who's in it. The Niners lose, and their core group of players go to Cabo with their significant others, and it's a whole, it's like the real world. The real world, Cabo, where people stop being polite and start getting real. And I think it's so funny. It's 5 people, unless there were more people like not in the picture. Brock Purdy, Kyle Juszczyk, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Trent Taylor. As funny as that, they're all dressed exactly the same. In like khaki shorts with like a light blue polo tucked into the shorts. What is it about people that tuck in short sleeve shirts to their shorts? What is it about that? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just think I can't think of a team that is known for having an inner circle more than the Niners. Everyone knows that the core group of the Niners is those 5 guys and their wives or girlfriends. And if you want to be like in with the Niners, you got to be in with those guys, and your girlfriend has to be in with their girlfriends. And it just seems so strange. Trent Taylor is in, but Ricky Pearsall didn't make the cut. How is Ricky not there? Ricky must have been like Isaiah Thomas, been like, I had the criteria, but I wasn't picked. Like Fred Warner didn't make the cut. I think it's time for the Niners to start dismantling the Cabo Clique. I don't think it helps to have a team inside a team. I don't think so. I would like to see Trent Taylor not be on the team next year. Let's start there. They put him on IR. They could have gave him an injury supplement. He could have went home and like hung out with his family or whatever he does. But he was there all year in the locker room shooting hoops, probably like in the training room, you like drinking water and stuff. Man, give that water to someone who plays. drinking up all the water, eating up all the food. Trent Taylor, he could go. Kyle Juszczyk could go. He's going to be 35, man. Can't you like the fullback dash motion isn't fooling the team you got to beat, man. He could go. Kittle, I mean, you gave him the extension and he's going to be rehabbing. I mean, you can't, it's too late. But McCaffrey, God, I like Christian McCaffrey, but he could go. Trade Christian before something awful happens, courtesy of the electrical substation, and the Cabo Clique could just be Brock at this point, just you. And you know what? You don't go back to Cabo anymore. And if you do, bring the whole team and give everyone a Toyota. I'm tired of seeing that group. It's been 10 years. If they want to all retire and start a reality show, I won't watch it, but they could do it. Put it on E. Maybe some people would watch it. I think it's a bad look for the 49ers. They're all old. They all look exactly the same. They should work really hard to like have a new look. Kyle with everyone, and it's a bunch of young guys. Anyway, I thought it was hilarious. And the fact that they put it out there, like they think it's so cool. Hey, where's the rest of your team? How is Trent Taylor still part of this? Are you kidding? Brandon Ayuk's at home being like, see? That's what I'm talking about with this group. Anoop says, post-game, McDonald said he didn't care about running through the Niners. John Schneider erupted in laughter. Elite coaches laugh at Kyle. Niners are in rapid decline. Where's Jed, our ownership group? That is very interesting. Not on, yeah, it seemed like the Niners kept trying to make it a thing, right? Like Diamond Lenore, Juwan Jennings, and the Seahawks kind of scoffed at him. All right, one more thing before I do my prize picks. I thought it was so interesting watching a game on CBS and a game on Fox back to back. Not that I've never watched these broadcasts before, but again, I'm usually at the stadium, not listening to the broadcast. And CBS is so funny, man. It's Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, and Jim Nantz is the voice of the Masters. So when he's talking, it's like, welcome back to the AFC Championship game. Just like very subdued and slow. And it's like Tony Romo, he's kind of like a golf announcer too. He's like, 160 yards out, a little bit of wind. Jim, I'm thinking 7-iron here with a little bit of a cut. Like he's always thinking, he's never talking about the previous play. He's always thinking about the next play, what the offense should do, what the defense. I think Tony Romo's great when he's prepared. When he's prepared, he's the only analyst that's actually thinking along and like trying to anticipate what's going to happen, as opposed to every other analyst who's talking too much about a play that was, one or two behind. They're talking about what already happened, and Tony Romo was talking about what's going to happen. I like that about Tony Romo, but you could tell he's a golfer. Jim Nantz is a golf commentator, and the whole thing is very like, oh wow, 3rd and 7. What about that, Tony? Oh wow, oh whoa, what a throw! Like very calm, as if it's not the most violent sport in the world. And I kind of like the whole CBS presentation, although it makes me want to fall asleep. Maybe it was the game. Maybe it was freaking Jarrett Stidham and Sean Payton. Then you got Fox, and it's like that stupid robot, football playing robot, and it's like, blah, blah, blah. It's so loud. It feels like NASCAR. It's like, man, it's the same sport. Well, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. I don't really like either one. I think NBC's better. Tom Brady isn't good as an announcer. Everything is about him. He's like, man, this kind of reminds me of when I played. When I played, I had a guy like this and I could do this. It's like, dude, shut up about you. Tony Romo doesn't mention his playing career ever when he plays, and I really appreciate that. Tom's always trying to relate a play and he doesn't really praise quarterbacks. Like the whole time that Sam Darnold was having a great game, Tom was like, that's surprising. Wow, I wouldn't expect that. And anytime he did anything bad, he pounced on him. It's like, okay, you were better than Sam Darnold. We know that. Anyway, Romo, when he's actually prepared and not, whatever, is good as hell. I enjoyed him today. It's too bad he didn't have the NFC game. He had the stinkeroo. Shout out to Tony Romo. MS says Kyle refuses to do a full rebuild, holds on to the same fragile Caucasian core on offense, expects to win a Super Bowl. Meanwhile, defense let go of extremely talented players. This offensive core is the same. It is the same. It is the same. Value 6 Store says good work this season. You too. I appreciate that. That was nice of you. I should have went to Cabo. I should have. You know who's devastated he didn't get the invite to Cabo? David. David. All right. I got some prize picks for you. Let's do some Super Bowl prize picks. Sam Darnold. Sam Deasy. 228.5 passing yards, more or fewer. I'm saying more, man. Freaking Sam Darnold going to be the Super Bowl MVP. It's undeniable. Drake May, 220.5. No freaking way, dude. He was not good at passing in this game, and I don't think Josh McDaniels is going to have the answers against Mike McDonald. I could be wrong, though. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 91.5. I'm going to say, that's a good question. I'm going to say less because I think they're going to face some man-to-man coverage, and they do have that really good cornerback. Gonzalez. Cooper Kupp, Kenneth Walker, what a player. 77.5 rushing yards. I'm going to say more for that. Stephon Diggs, 45.5. That's less. You're trash. Ramondre, 56.5. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those are my picks. Flexing them. How much should I put down? Should I put down 500? Should I put down 500? I think I will. I think I just did. Download PrizePicks, use promo code COHN, play $5, get $50 instantly in lineups. I just put down 500 though to win $12,000. Gold-blooded says our rival in our stadium with our former backup quarterback, fireable offense. Dude, the football gods have a crazy sense of humor. Darnold, wow. Eric Banks says Lynch is one of only 2 GMs in the whole league who are ex-players. That's a good point, man. Until the Niners get a serious GM, they're just not going to be really competing with the best teams in the NFC. I'm going to go eat dinner. It's almost 8 o'clock. This was a quick one, but I'll be back tomorrow with my dad for the Cohn Zone. Stay tuned. We got Seattle and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Just give Sam Darnold the Super Bowl MVP right now. How do you think Jed feels about that? He's over here paying almost double for Brock Purdy while Sam Darnold is looking like the guy he was supposed to look like when he got picked third. Again, when he wins, I want him to just very calmly be like, this wouldn't have been possible without the 49ers. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Brock. Thank you, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow.